Welcome back, everybody. This week we're going to discuss the benefits of contemplating death and, more importantly, how to do it. No. Happy New Year, everybody. And you know what the New Year celebrates? Death. What other holiday celebrates the passing of time, saying goodbye to the old year, hello to the new year? We're talking about death. This is a symbolic representation of death. Each year that passes, you're a little bit closer to death. So let's discuss the importance of thinking about it, of contemplating it. I think it's ultimately a motivating thing. I know it seems sad and dreary, but that can be the most motivating thing. I mean, that's what life is, right? There is a time constraint here. Let's not distract ourselves from it. Every great movie that you like, there's a time constraint in it. May have not to do with death, but movies, myth, it's a reflection of life. And life has the greatest time constraint of all, which is, of course, you're going to die. When we think about death, I think it places more value on the present, more value on what we can do in the present. It really disabuses the notion that, there's going to be some time in the future when I'm going to do this thing. I don't have to do it now, and I'll get to it tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. When we focus on death, we kind of realize, wait a minute, what am I protecting myself from? I'm going to end up in the same spot as everybody else. There's no illusion anymore. We lose our illusions. We tend to when we think about death. And I think that people carry the idea around that if they're afraid of something, they automatically assume that thing that they're afraid of is bad. We may not do this consciously, but I think unconsciously we think, okay, roller coaster as an example, roller coaster scary, roller coaster bad. And the truth is, it's not bad because you're afraid of it. It's bad, right, in quotations, because you avoid it. And when we contemplate that thing that we're all avoiding to some degree, death, we become more in touch with the fact that, wait a minute, maybe it's not bad because I'm afraid of it. Maybe it only seems bad on the surface because I've made a habit out of avoiding it. So it's New Year's. Let's stop avoiding this thing that we're all avoiding on some degree and become ever more in touch with it. This is how I contemplate death. I found this to be very helpful. It's really a variation of my bottom-up way of meditation. I'll link to my meditation video. There's two kinds of meditation, right? Top down, bottom up. Top down is, think of a mantra, positive affirmations, focus on your breath. This can be helpful if you do it in the correct context, but usually when people do it, it's effectively repression. Bottom up meditation, however, is focus on the issue, focus on what's really going on. This is going to inform not only what to do, but the motivation behind doing it. So asking yourself, what am I avoiding? What do I need? And a huge thing that we're all avoiding, that we're all afraid of to some degree. I just don't believe when people say they're not afraid of death. No, you're lying. We're all afraid of it to some degree. It's okay. Let's get in touch with it so we can use it in the best way possible. Here's how I do it. Well, what I do is I imagine what it would be like. I think it's helpful to imagine what it's really going to be like when you die. Now, of course, you're not really going to know what it's going to be like, but just make the scene as specific as possible. A popular one is focus on or imagine being on your deathbed, being old, look down at your hands, actually see the wrinkles, imagine what you would look like when you're old, imagine yourself on your deathbed. You're saying your goodbyes. How do you say your goodbyes? Who's going to be there? Really make it as concrete as possible. And when we make death more concrete, we make it more real. I mean, a lot of times when people, they recognize, okay, it's good to contemplate death, but then they try to do it, they're still only thinking about death as this abstract notion. No, it makes it more real and then therefore more emotionally impactful on you when you make this scene, when you make the contemplation as concrete as possible. It helps to maybe pick a year out where you're going to be more likely to die. Mine's 2058. By the way, that's 2058 if I'm lucky. It may not take until 2058, but just understanding that there's probably a year, 2058, where I'm going to die, did the calculation. I take pretty good care of myself, but also I do partake in the occasional eating contest. So I deduct a few years for that one, but 2058, that makes it real. By the way, if I'm lucky, 2058, by the way, 2058, it's 2020 now. not doesn't seem that far away for essentially eternity, my eternity, which is in effect eternity. Even think of the day, maybe a day or a month where you're going to die, just to make it as real as possible. So now you can actually buy a calendar and circle the day where you could potentially die. Again, are you going to really die in this day or this year? Well, maybe not, but that's not the point. The point is to make the feeling as real as possible. Once you get that feeling that it's really going to happen, that it is happening one day at a time, right? Happy New Year, 1 year at a time, then notice what comes up for you. What do you regret? What would you like to do? Knowing where you're going to end up and that place of total vulnerability and nothingness that you feel, okay, what are you avoiding now? What would you like to do now? Who do you need to talk to? Right? It could be a bunch of different things. Usually it involves reaching out. That's the first step. Who do you need to talk to? What do you need to do? It just gets you more in touch with what's important. You're giving yourself here a great gift of feeling what it's like to die, but then have at least maybe 20, 30, 40 years, even if it's 10 years, have plenty of time, in effect, to do something about it now that you know what it's going to be like when you die. This is essentially the It's a Wonderful Life meditation, but I think it can be really helpful. I mean, look, this really just speaks to probably one of the biggest, most pervasive lies that people say is that we have plenty of time. Well, don't worry about it now. You got plenty of time for your career, for finding a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, for moving, for, spending that year living in France that you want to do. There's plenty of time. That's a lie. We don't have plenty of time. 2058. Maybe that seems like a lot for eternity. That's not a lot of time. And I think contemplation of death really just gets us more in touch. It's not about making you afraid. Since this isn't fear, this is just reality. And if getting in touch with reality causes fear, then good. That can be helpful. You can use that. Become more comfortable with it. Again, it's not bad because you're afraid of it. It's bad because you're so used to avoid it. You've created a habit out of avoiding it. And I just hand this back to you, especially this week. These videos are free, but this video is not free. The price for watching this video is you need to reach out. You need to contact somebody, preferably me. If you do have a psychological issue that you do need to get help with, then now is the time. Reach out to me. Let me know how you're going to do it. Now look, the services I offer here at Animus, the group, the one-on-one therapy, the unconscious map, the course, this is the best psychological intervention you're ever going to get. You're lucky because you stumbled across me. I mean, I really believe that. But if you're not convinced of that, then that's my fault. Fine. Then let me know what help you are going to receive. Email me. Email somebody, preferably me. Let me know what you're going to do. I may not email you back. Can't promise I'm going to email everybody back, but just let me know. Let somebody know. You're not going to be on your deathbed and think, man, I'm really glad when I was going through that depression, anxiety issue that I had when I was 24, I'm really glad I didn't reach out and at least try to help, try to talk to somebody about it. You're not going to think that. So that's the price for this video. I think you guys can do it. And of course, if you want to use one of my awesome services, then email me and we can do a consultation, and I'll get you set up, at least get you going in some correct direction, even if it's not with me. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and always remember that maybe you really don't have plenty of time to do what you want, and the new year is the reminder of exactly that.